Imagine for a moment that the universe is not a fixed stage, but a vast ocean of possibilities, shimmering with infinite outcomes. In this ocean, nothing is solid, nothing is final, until you look, until you observe. Your awareness collapses waves of potential into the single experience you call reality. This is not philosophy. It is quantum truth. The observer effect has shown us that the act of observation is not passive, it is creative. You are not just watching life happen. You are shaping it with every glance, every focus of thought, every image you hold in the sanctuary of your mind. And yet, here lies the tragedy. Most people misuse this power. They scatter their attention. They lose energy. They allow fear, distraction, and unconscious focus to create realities they never truly wanted. Life becomes heavy, random, and filled with echoes of frustration. The observer effect is not just a curious detail of physics. It is the hidden key of manifestation. When mastered, it turns you into a conscious creator, able to bend probabilities toward your chosen destiny. But when misused, it drains your energy and binds you to cycles of chaos. That is why today, we will uncover the 5 most common mistakes when using the observer effect and how to correct them, so you stop losing energy and begin aligning with the life you were meant to create. The first mistake is subtle, but devastating. Observing with scattered attention. Your mind is a lens. Focus it, and it becomes a laser that can ignite reality. Scatter it, and it becomes weak sunlight, warming but never transforming. Most people live with fractured attention. They wish for one thing, but fear another. They visualize abundance, but dwell on lack. They affirm health, but secretly imagine illness. This divided focus collapses reality into contradictions. It is why desires manifest halfway, only to dissolve. It is why synchronicities appear briefly, only to vanish. The energy is not lost. It is simply spread too thin to create lasting form. Think of it like trying to light a fire with a magnifying glass. If you hold the glass steady, the sunlight ignites the wood. But if your hand trembles, if you move constantly, the fire never begins. Attention works the same way. Every shift, every doubt, every scattered thought interrupts the ignition of manifestation. To correct this, you must cultivate what the mystics called the single-pointed mind, a consciousness that holds an image without wavering, that rests on one chosen reality until the universe bends to match it. Close your eyes now. Breathe deeply. Imagine your attention as a golden beam of light emerging from your forehead, steady and radiant. With each breath, you direct it toward a single vision, a healed body, a desired opportunity, a new path unfolding before you. Feel how the beam grows stronger the longer you hold it. See how the world begins to shape itself around that unwavering light. This is the training. This is why ancient practices of meditation, visualization, and ritual exist. They are not empty traditions. They are disciplines of attention. Without them, the observer effect becomes diluted. With them, it becomes unstoppable. And here is the hidden revelation. You are already shaping reality with every glance of your awareness. The question is not whether you are using the observer effect, but how you are using it. If your attention is unconscious, scattered, or ruled by fear, then your energy builds worlds you never wished for. But if your attention is conscious, focused, and infused with intention, then your energy creates alignment, synchronicity, and transformation. This is why the first mistake drains energy. Unconscious observation leads to chaos. Conscious observation opens the door to mastery. As we continue, we will uncover the second mistake, one that even advanced practitioners fall into. It explains why many succeed in manifesting for a moment, but then lose it just as quickly. And when you hear it, you will realize how often you too have fallen into its trap. We now step into the second mistake, one that silently robs even experienced seekers of their energy. It is this: observing with doubt instead of conviction. You see, every act of observation is more than looking. It is an energetic command to the universe. But here is the trap. Most people try to observe their desired reality while secretly carrying the vibration of disbelief. They say, I want abundance, I want love, I want healing, yet inside, a quiet voice whispers, but what if it doesn't happen? What if I'm not worthy? What if I fail again? This inner doubt fractures the signal. It is like trying to tune a radio to one frequency, while another frequency keeps interfering. The result, static, mixed results. Sometimes manifestations appear, but they collapse quickly because the energy was never steady. Quantum physics gives us a mirror here. When scientists observe a particle with expectation, it behaves differently than when observed with indifference. The intention of the observer carries weight. Your inner state matters more than your outer ritual. Doubt is not neutral. Doubt is observation too, but it collapses reality into the absence of what you desire. When you doubt, you are not passively waiting. You are actively observing failure, lack, and separation. And because the universe obeys observation, doubt manifests its own reality. Think of it this way. Holding doubt while trying to manifest is like planting a seed in fertile soil, and then every day digging it up to check if it's growing. The roots never settle. The plant never takes hold. Energy is wasted, and nothing blossoms. So how do we correct this second mistake? The answer lies in embodied conviction, not forced belief, not hollow affirmations, but the cultivation of a state where what you desire feels inevitable. You must move from I hope to it already is, from maybe to it is done. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine the reality you seek, a healed body, a harmonious relationship, a life of purpose. Now, instead of wishing for it, step into it as if it has already unfolded. Feel the emotions of it being true right now. Notice the subtle shift. Your body begins to resonate with that reality. Your mind begins to quiet its doubts, and your energy field broadcasts a different frequency. This is the true power of observation, not to stare at what is missing, but to look from the place where it already exists. The ancients taught this through ritual drama. They would enact the harvest before the crops grew. They would celebrate victory before the battle. They would honor healing before the wound closed. Why? Because they understood that conviction bends reality. To observe as if it has already happened is to command the quantum field to obey. Modern seekers forget this. They cling to the desire, but not to the conviction. They affirm with words, but not with vibration. And so their manifestations flicker like candles in the wind, never stable, never lasting. This second mistake drains more energy than you realize. Doubt consumes focus. It scatters intention. It turns rituals into hollow gestures. And worst of all, it convinces you that the observer effect doesn't work, when in truth, it was working perfectly all along. It was simply collapsing into the reality of your doubt. But once you see this clearly, you can no longer hide from it. You recognize that every thought of disbelief is not harmless. It is creative. Every shadow of uncertainty is shaping the outcome. And here lies the liberation. The moment you shift from doubt to conviction, your energy multiplies. You stop leaking power into what you don't want, and you begin anchoring it into what you do. The second mistake is the silent killer of manifestation. Correct it, and you move from hoping to knowing, from effort to flow, from chance to certainty. As we continue this journey, we will uncover the third mistake, one that explains why people's manifestations often conflict with one another, creating tangled lives and fragmented destinies. It is a mistake born not of weakness, but of divided desire. And once revealed, it will change the way you choose your focus forever. Now we arrive at the third mistake, one that explains why so many seekers live in constant contradiction. It is this: observing multiple realities at once. Most people think they know what they want. They say, I want love, I want abundance, I want freedom. But beneath those words, they carry competing desires. They want freedom, but also fear losing security. They want love, but fear intimacy. They want abundance, but still cling to the safety of scarcity. Each desire is an observation. Each fear is an observation. The result, reality bends in opposite directions, pulling their lives into tension. They manifest fragments of abundance, fragments of love, fragments of freedom, but never the whole. In quantum language, this is interference. Two waves colliding, canceling each other out. In spiritual terms, it is divided intention. A house built on sand. Energy is poured into multiple outcomes, so none of them stabilize. This is why lives feel tangled, why one area improves while another collapses, why joy appears for a moment and then dissolves. It is not the universe resisting you, it is you resisting yourself. To correct this, you must understand the sacred principle of energetic coherence. Coherence means alignment, thought, emotion, and action, pointing in the same direction. When your inner world is coherent, the observer effect amplifies. Possibilities collapse with precision. Life responds with clarity. But incoherence, desiring two opposite things, is like trying to walk in two directions at once. You take one step forward, then one step back. No matter how much energy you invest, you remain stuck in the same place. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine holding two different images in your mind, one of expansion, one of contraction. Notice how your body feels pulled apart. Your breath becomes shallow, your energy fragmented. Now release one image. Choose the other. Hold it with full presence. Feel how your body relaxes, how your breath deepens, how your energy becomes whole again. This is coherence. This is the correction of the third mistake, to choose one reality and to let go of all others. The ancients encoded this in symbols of unity: the circle, the single flame, the focused arrow. They knew that divided intention is wasted fire. Only a steady flame can illuminate the darkness. Modern seekers, however, often believe they can manifest everything at once. But the truth is, until you have mastered coherence, you must choose. The universe rewards clarity, not confusion. Does this mean you cannot have love and abundance, freedom and security? Of course not, but you must weave them into a single coherent vision. See them not as contradictions, but as facets of the same jewel. Love that brings freedom, abundance that brings security. This way your observation strengthens instead of cancels. The third mistake drains energy, because divided desires split your focus. They scatter your observation into multiple realities, weakening all of them. But when you bring your inner world into coherence, your energy magnifies. Manifestations accelerate. Synchronicities align. Life becomes a seamless flow instead of a battlefield of contradictions. And so we move forward, toward the fourth mistake. This one is perhaps the most overlooked of all, because it hides not in thought or desire, but in emotion. It is the mistake that explains why many people visualize correctly, yet still sabotage themselves. And once you see it, you will realize that emotion is the true signature the universe responds to, not words, not images, but the frequency of feeling behind them. We now arrive at the fourth mistake, one that hides not in thought, nor in intention, but in the very core of your emotions. It is this: observing with the wrong emotional frequency. You see, reality is not moved by words alone. You can repeat affirmations 1,000 times, but if your emotions contradict them, the universe listens to the vibration, not the sound. You can visualize endlessly, but if your heart is broadcasting fear or resentment, that is the signal that collapses reality. This is why so many seekers say, "I did everything right. I visualized, I affirmed, I focused, but nothing changed." The truth is, they were focusing through a frequency of doubt, fear, or frustration. Their observation was wrapped in the wrong energy, and so the field responded accordingly. In the quantum field, emotion is not decoration, it is the signature. Every observation is encoded with the energy of the emotion behind it. Think of it like sending a letter. The words on the page may say love, but if the envelope carries the scent of fear, that is the vibration delivered. This is why ritual, prayer, and meditation are so powerful. They are not just about imagery. They are about shifting emotional resonance. To observe correctly, you must align the heart with the mind. Consider this. Have you ever tried to manifest abundance while feeling desperate about money? Or tried to attract love while secretly feeling lonely and unworthy? The image in your mind may have been correct, but the frequency in your body was the opposite. And because the observer effect responds to the deeper vibration, you manifested more of the emotion you carried. More lack, more loneliness, more frustration. The energy field is precise. It echoes back not your surface wish, but your deepest emotional state. To correct this mistake, you must become the guardian of your emotional frequency. Close your eyes. Breathe slowly. Imagine a scale within you, where one side holds fear, doubt, and resentment, and the other holds love, gratitude, and trust. As you breathe, feel yourself tipping the scale toward the higher emotions. Let gratitude rise like a golden current in your chest. Let love expand through your rib cage. Let trust settle into your belly like a steady flame. Now visualize your desired reality again. Notice how different it feels when your emotions harmonize with it. The image is no longer a fantasy. It is alive, vibrating, pulling itself closer to you. This is the secret behind the phrase "feeling is the prayer." Observation without aligned feeling is hollow. Observation infused with elevated emotion is irresistible. The universe bends not just to the picture in your mind, but to the song in your heart. The ancients knew this. In their rituals they danced, they sang, they invoked ecstasy, not to entertain themselves, but to raise the frequency of their emotions. They understood that the field listens to joy, reverence, and awe. They used symbols, chants, and sacred fire not as decoration, but as instruments to tune their hearts to the right vibration. Modern seekers often skip this. They intellectualize manifestation. They say the right words, but they do not feel them. They visualize the right images, but their hearts remain cold. And so their energy leaks. Their observation collapses into emptiness. The fourth mistake drains energy because it traps you in emotional dissonance. The mind says yes, the heart says no, and the field listens to the strongest voice, the heart. But once you learn to cultivate elevated emotions, your observation becomes whole. The mind projects, the heart amplifies, and the universe responds. And so we approach the fifth and final mistake. Perhaps the most dangerous of all. It is the mistake that occurs not in the beginning of manifestation, but in its final stages. The mistake that causes people to sabotage their success, just as reality is about to collapse into form. It is the mistake of letting go of observation too soon, of abandoning the creation before it stabilizes. And once you see how it works, you will understand why so many dreams fall apart at the edge of becoming real. We now arrive at the fifth and final mistake, perhaps the most dangerous of them all. It is the mistake of abandoning observation too soon. This is the tragedy that haunts countless seekers. They visualize, they align, they focus, they even feel the emotion, and then, just as reality begins to crystallize, they release their attention. They stop observing. They let doubt creep in. They return to old habits of thought, unaware that the seed was about to break the surface. It is like planting a tree, watering it faithfully for weeks, and then walking away the very day it is ready to sprout. The soil was vibrating. The roots were alive. The stem was ready, but the gardener left, and the tree withered unseen. Quantum physics reminds us that observation is not a one-time event. Reality is continuously collapsing and recollapsing under the gaze of awareness. To manifest, you must not only observe with clarity, with conviction, with coherence, with aligned emotion, you must also sustain the observation long enough for the field to stabilize. This is where patience becomes sacred, not passive waiting, but active holding. The ancients called this faith, not belief in the absence of evidence, but the unwavering observation of what is becoming real, even when your senses have not yet caught up. Think of it like sculpting from marble. Each observation is a strike of the chisel. You cannot strike once and expect the statue to appear. You must return, again and again, shaping, holding, refining, until the form emerges. If you abandon the sculpture halfway, the vision remains trapped in stone. In spiritual language, manifestation fails not because the universe refuses, but because the observer stops looking. To correct this final mistake, you must embrace the art of energetic persistence. Close your eyes. Visualize your chosen reality as if it is already here. Now imagine yourself holding it for days, weeks, months, not with strain, but with serenity. Each day you return to it like returning to a sacred flame, keeping it alive with your attention. Feel the trust that builds as you hold it. Feel the certainty that grows as nothing shakes your vision. This is persistence. This is mastery. And here lies the ultimate revelation. The observer effect is not a trick to get what you want quickly. It is the eternal law of creation. Every reality you live is the result of sustained observation, whether conscious or unconscious. You are always manifesting. The question is whether you will do it with intention or leave it to chance. Now you have seen the 5 mistakes that drain energy: scattered attention, doubt instead of conviction, divided desires, wrong emotional frequency, abandoning observation too soon. Each of these mistakes is a leak, a fracture, a scattering of the creative force within you. And each correction is a return to alignment, to coherence, to mastery of the field. The universe does not play favorites. It responds faithfully to observation. If you scatter, it scatters. If you doubt, it denies. If you divide, it fragments. If you feel fear, it amplifies it. If you abandon, it dissolves. But if you focus, if you trust, if you unify, if you feel elevated emotion, if you persist, then the field bends, reality rearranges, and destiny obeys. And so the invitation is this: stop losing energy. Become conscious of how you observe. Treat every thought as sacred, every feeling as creative, every act of focus as an act of creation. For the observer effect is not just a scientific principle. It is the mirror of your soul, showing you that reality is not something happening to you. It is something happening through you. The moment you embrace this, you stop being a victim of chance. You stop being a passive watcher of life. You become what you always were meant to be: a luminous creator, shaping worlds with the gaze of your awareness. So the question is no longer whether the observer effect works. The only question is, how will you use it from this moment on? We have unveiled the 5 mistakes that drain energy when using the observer effect. Now, it is time to move beyond theory and into practice. Knowledge without embodiment is like holding a map but never walking the path. The key to transforming your reality lies not only in understanding, but in applying. And so let us step into a ritual of conscious observation, a practice designed to align your mind, your heart, and your energy with the reality you wish to manifest. This is not a complicated ceremony. It is a simple, powerful act that can be done anywhere, at any time, to harness the true potential of the observer effect. Step 1. Prepare the field. Find a quiet space where you will not be disturbed. Sit comfortably, spine tall but relaxed. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. With each inhale, feel yourself drawing energy inward. With each exhale, release tension, distractions, and noise. Imagine your body becoming a vessel of stillness. You are entering the sacred field. Now, envision yourself surrounded by a sphere of golden light. This light is your sanctuary, your shield. Within it, no fear, no doubt, no scattered energy can enter. You are safe. You are whole. You are the observer stepping into your true role. Step 2. Clarify the vision. Bring to mind the reality you wish to create. It may be a healed body, a harmonious relationship, financial freedom, or spiritual awakening. Whatever it is, hold the image clearly. See it as vividly as possible, not as something distant, but as if it already exists. Imagine the details, the colors, the sounds, the sensations. The clearer the vision, the sharper your observation. If your mind begins to wander, gently bring it back. You are the sculptor, and the image is the marble. Each return to focus is a strike of the chisel, carving reality into form. Step 3. Align the emotion now. Shift from the mind into the heart. Ask yourself, how would I feel if this reality were already here? Let the answer rise, not as words but as sensations. Perhaps it is relief, joy, gratitude, or peace. Let that feeling flood your chest, expand into your arms and legs, flow into every cell of your body. As the emotion grows, see it as light glowing from your heart, blending with the golden sphere around you. Your observation is now not only visual, it is emotional, vibrational, alive. Step 4. Anchor with breath. With each inhale, imagine drawing your desired reality closer. With each exhale, imagine it merging into your present life. The boundary between there and here, between future and now, begins to dissolve. The quantum field responds to this merging. You are no longer observing a distant possibility. You are living it in this very moment. Step 5. Sustain the observation. Remain in this state for several minutes. Do not rush. Hold the vision, the feeling, the breath. Let them weave into one coherent energy. This is the moment where probability collapses into form. This is where the observer effect reveals its true power. If doubts arise, do not fight them. Simply return to the image, return to the feeling, return to the breath. Persistence is the master key. Step 6. Release with trust. When you feel complete, gently let the vision go, not as abandonment, but as surrender. You are not discarding it. You are planting it in the field. Trust that the seed has been received, that reality is already rearranging. Whisper within yourself, "It is done. It is done. It is done. It is done." Open your eyes slowly. Carry the elevated emotion with you into the rest of your day, for the ritual does not end when you stand up. The ritual continues with every glance, every thought, every choice. You are always observing. The question is whether you will do it consciously. This practice corrects all 5 mistakes at once. It focuses attention. It builds conviction. It unifies desire. It aligns emotion. It sustains observation. It transforms the observer effect from a concept into a living tool. And the more often you repeat it, the more natural it becomes, until observing consciously is no longer a ritual. It is your way of being. And as you integrate this, you will begin to notice signs, synchronicities, opportunities, subtle shifts in your reality. These are not accidents. They are confirmations that the field has received your observation. They are whispers from the universe, reminding you, you are the creator, you are the lens, you are the observer shaping worlds. Next, we will step beyond practice into perspective. In the 7th part, you will discover how this truth is not only scientific, not only spiritual, but a bridge between the two, a mystery that sages, mystics, and physicists have all touched in different languages. We have explored the 5 mistakes, and we have practiced the ritual of correction. Now it is time to widen the lens, to expand perspective, and see how the observer effect is not just a scientific phenomenon, nor just a spiritual teaching, but a timeless truth that has been whispered by sages, mystics, and visionaries throughout history. The scientific bridge quantum physics shocked the world when it revealed that the act of observation changes the outcome of experiments. Electrons, photons, entire systems behave differently depending on whether they are being observed. To the traditional mind, this was unsettling, but to the seeker, it was confirmation. Consciousness is not separate from reality. It is woven into its very fabric. Think of the famous double-slit experiment. When particles are not observed, they move like waves, existing in multiple probabilities at once. But the moment they are observed, the wave collapses into a single path, a single dot of reality. This experiment is more than science. It is a mirror of life itself. For every thought you hold, every focus of your awareness, collapses the wave of infinite possibilities into the one reality you live. The mystical echo, but long before the language of quantum mechanics, the mystics already knew. The Upanishads of India declared, "As is your faith, so is your destiny." The Hermetic sages taught, "The all is mind, the universe is mental." Indigenous shamans spoke of dreaming the world into being. Different words, different traditions, but the same truth. Reality is not fixed. It bends under the gaze of consciousness. When you read the Gospels, you hear Jesus say, "According to your faith, it is done to you." When you study Tibetan practices, you find visualizations so precise that practitioners claim to alter weather, heal the body, even navigate death consciously. These are not myths. They are demonstrations of the observer effect, lived through devotion, discipline, and ritual. The hidden pattern: look across history, and you will see the same pattern repeated. The recognition that the human mind is not powerless, but a creative force. Whether called prayer, magic, visualization, or quantum observation, the essence is identical. You are not separate from reality. You are reality, observing itself. This perspective liberates us from the illusion that science and spirituality are enemies. They are not. They are two languages describing the same mystery. Science gives us the mathematics. Spirituality gives us the meaning. Together, they form the complete picture. The observer and the observed are one. The cosmic mirror. Imagine this. Every star in the sky, every atom in your body, every breath you take, is entangled in a web of observation. You observe the universe, and the universe observes you. You are both participant and witness, both dreamer and dream. This is why the observer effect is not just about personal manifestation, but about collective destiny. When millions observe fear, war, or scarcity, reality bends that way. When millions observe peace, abundance, and unity, reality bends otherwise. Your personal practice ripples outward into the collective field. Every time you correct the mistakes, every time you observe with clarity, conviction, coherence, aligned emotion, and persistence, you are not only shaping your life, you are shaping the world we share. The invitation of perspective, the observer effect, then is not a small trick to get what you want. It is the revelation that consciousness is the root of existence. It calls you to awaken, to take responsibility for your gaze, for your thoughts, for your feelings. Because every moment you are choosing, not just for yourself, but for humanity. The sages knew this. The scientists confirm it. And now you are hearing it, perhaps not for the first time, but in a way that ignites something within you. The recognition that your awareness is holy, that your observation is sacred. The question then becomes, if this is true, how will you live? Will you continue to leak energy through scattered attention, doubt, divided desires, dissonant emotions, and premature abandonment? Or will you live as a conscious observer, choosing your focus, shaping your world, honoring the creative power that flows through you? And as this perspective expands within you, we prepare for the final step, the eighth part of our journey, a closing integration, a reminder of who you truly are, and a call to live each day as a luminous observer of reality. And now we come to the end of this journey. We have uncovered the 5 mistakes that drain energy, explored their corrections, practiced the ritual of conscious observation, and expanded our perspective to see the universal truth behind the observer effect. But knowledge means nothing unless it is lived. The real power begins not when you understand the words, but when you embody them. You are the observer. You are not a victim of random events. You are not a powerless figure, drifting in an indifferent universe. You are the luminous center through which reality bends. Every thought you choose, every emotion you cultivate, every vision you hold, is a command to the quantum field. When you scatter your attention, doubt yourself, divide your desires, misalign your emotions, or abandon too soon, you lose energy. But when you focus, trust, unify, align, and persist, the universe has no choice but to echo back the frequency you broadcast. A call to mastery. Imagine for a moment what your life would look like if you lived every day as a conscious observer. Imagine waking up and choosing your focus deliberately, sustaining your attention on what matters, guarding your emotions as sacred, and holding your vision until it manifests. Your health, your relationships, your purpose, your destiny, all of them are shaped by this awareness. The observer effect is not abstract. It is immediate. It is alive. It is responding to you right now. The collective field. And remember, your practice does not only shape your personal world, it ripples into the collective. Every elevated emotion you broadcast, every coherent thought you sustain, every reality you collapse into being contributes to the greater field we all share. If millions of us leak energy into fear, chaos spreads. But if millions of us observe consciously, with love, clarity, and intention, a new world emerges. The shift begins within you, but it does not end there. The sacred observer. Close your eyes for a moment. Feel your breath. Feel the presence of your awareness. Realize that this simple act of noticing is the most sacred act in the universe. It is the spark that gives form to the formless. You are not simply a witness of creation. You are creation itself, looking at itself through your eyes. The stars, the galaxies, the infinite possibilities, all of it bends to the lens of your soul. This is the gift. This is the responsibility. This is the power you carry. Integration. As you leave this journey, carry with you these reminders. Focus your attention like a steady flame. Hold conviction as if what you desire already exists. Choose coherence over division. Align your emotions with your vision. Persist in observation until reality stabilizes. Do this, and you will no longer lose energy. You will no longer live as a fragment. You will live as a conscious creator, luminous, whole, aligned with the field. A subtle invitation. This is not the end, but the beginning. Each day you have the chance to practice, to refine, to embody the power of the observer. If this message has resonated with you, if you feel the awakening of something ancient and true within your heart, then let this be your reminder to continue walking this path. Stay close to these teachings, return to them, share them, and allow them to unfold new dimensions within you. For the more we align as conscious observers, the brighter the future becomes, not only for us individually, but for humanity itself. And so I leave you with this truth. Reality is not something happening to you. Reality is something happening through you. Stop losing energy. Start observing consciously, and watch as the universe bends to the light of your awareness.